champion of the world, from Omaha, Nebraska.
In favor of the winner, remaining undefeated, proving he is one of the elite champions of the sport.
The fight, it is over. Canelo gets the knockout. Deontay Wilder has eradicated Dominic Brazil. He is the...
Like you said, you pick Wilder also. You also a Wilder fan. Do you think his performance deserves applause more than it does criticism? Or you think he should just hang it up and call it a career?
I'm glad you asked that question because I want to say something about that. I was reading a lot of comments on Facebook and social media and Instagram, and people are doing a lot of bashing of Wilder. And I think as far as his fundamentals, and he's not a your typical boxer, and he's garbage and he sucks. And people forget to understand that the man has the third longest reigning champion at heavyweight division ever, if I'm not mistaken. Also, people forget, and a lot of people overlook this, he didn't start boxing until he was 19 years old. Got off the delivery truck to box for his disabled daughter. He didn't start boxing at 8 or 9 like your typical championship fighter. Most fighters that turn to championship fighters in their career start boxing 8, 9, 10 years old. This guy started at 19 years old and picked the sport up and became a heavyweight champion. That shit is unheard of. You don't do that. You don't pick up boxing at 19 and become a heavyweight champion of the world. But the guy has overachieved. He showed his heart last night. He went out on the shield. Fury is a hell of a fighter also. People don't understand. We're not we're fans of Wilder, but we're also fans of the sport. And for me, the sport was picked at the top last night. You had Alabama playing last night, and people ain't even talking about the Alabama loss last night because boxing stole the show. So I'm excited because I'm a boxing fan. I love boxing. I want boxing to be at the top like it was back in the day. So I was excited. So I was, it sucked. I was like, Wilder lost, but boxing as a whole, when we got an epic heavyweight fight that we got to witness last night. So instead of everybody just trying to bash and he lost, because people don't understand why they got true fans. Even though he lost, they still gonna support their man. You got the casual type fans that they really don't like the boxer that they root for. They just want that boxer to beat the boxer they don't like. And once they lose to the boxer they don't like, they just jump on another boxer to try to find a boxer to beat the boxer they don't like. Or if the boxer they don't like win, then they just stop watching the sport or watching that fighter. They don't really follow the fighter. They follow fighters that they think can beat the fighter they hate. That's the casual ass shit. That's so when people think, oh, Wilder done, or what y'all gonna do now? They gonna continue to support him. When he fight again, they'll continue to watch him. They continue to buy pay-per-views. So if you thought that this all of a sudden his fans gonna disappear like y'all Pac-Man fans or so-called you other type of fans with them other fanboys, no, they still gonna root for Wilder. We still gonna root for boxing as a whole. So I'm glad you did ask that question.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I'm being honest. The trolls wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. They are out there, but for the most part, everybody who understands the sport of boxing know what they saw last night. They know they saw a great fight, so they giving Wilder credit. They are applauding him.
Could you explain that too? Explain that too, because a lot of people asked me that question last night. They said Wilder got his ass whooped last night, and I said he didn't get his ass whooped. You just don't understand how scoring in boxing works. So I mean, just give people a quick breakdown how the fight was so close in the 8th or 9th round. Because I had a couple of people call me and say, "Oh, that was a landslide. That was a murder." And I said, "No, it won't. The fight was a even or 1-point fight going into the 9th round. It was right here." So people, casuals don't really understand how a boxing match is scored. They look at it from a street fight. If a guy's landing more punches or beating the guy up, they figure like he winning the fight. And that's not always the case. So if you could just go a little bit in depth on that for me.
Yeah, well, when it comes to boxing, a lot of people they look at punches landed, or they look at, they don't look at the overall picture of a fight. Most not just because they don't understand the sport, it's because their attention span is not that big. I'm being honest. A lot of these guys, they don't watch boxing. A lot of these people, I should say, they don't watch boxing on an everyday basis. So they don't see the traps being laid. They don't see the technique being used. So a lot of people, they pretty much graded, like you said, based off a street fight. They pretty much graded off of really who won and who lost. That's how they grade a fight. It depends on how that person looked when he was losing. Was how they grade the entire of the fight. That's not the case. You can't grade the entire fight based because Wilder got knocked out in the 11th round. You pretty much skipped over the whole 10 rounds before. What you missed, if you was grading that way, what you missed was not only the 2 knockdowns that Wilder had in the 4th, you missed the long, number one, Fury laying on the ground for a long period of time. I don't know if it was, some people saying it was a long count. I'm not going to go into that. That's nothing I want to talk about right now. But that was smart on Fury's behalf because he knew one more knockdown in this round, I can get this game over. Three knockdowns and you done. So he got a long count and pretty much got saved by that bell. He got saved by the bell a lot in this fight. If you had a close eye on it, you would have noticed a lot of those clinches with Wilder landing uppercuts. You'll see the Fury knees buckle, then the bell will ring. So basically what I can tell you is, to answer your question, the best way you have to grade a fight is you have to grade it by punches, not only punches landed, effectiveness for punches, range generalship, and how a fighter is affected based on what the other fighter is doing. The match was a chess match, like you said earlier. The first 4 rounds or so, it was a back and forth battle. I gave the first 2 rounds to Wilder, and then Fury came back and dropped Wilder in the 3rd. So now you got to get Fury the 3rd, and then Wilder came back in the 4th and dropped him down twice. So it was a back and forth battle.
I'm gonna stop you right there. That's a great example. So just for people that don't understand, if you gave Wilder the first 2 rounds, he's up by 2 points. Then you had the 10-8 round because of the knockdown for Fury. He's up, it's a tie. Then you had a 10-7 round in the 4th. So you in the 5th round, you saying this is an even fight. But even though it's an even fight with your eyes on the cards, Wilder was up 3 points. So I'm just telling you, if you don't understand boxing, you wouldn't see that. With your eyes, I'm seeing back and forth. He knocked him down. It's an even fight. But on the scorecard, Wilder was up 3 points going into the 5th round. So there's little things right there that if you don't really understand boxing, you can overlook.